Droopy, drowsy, and dopey. Not one, but two pairs of the longest ears you'll ever see on a dog.
We always had an interest in helping with animals and things like that, but once we decided El Paso was going to be our home, it led to helping out the Humane Society, and of course, what we had decided, we'd always decided when we were going to get any animals, that's usually where we get them from. And that's what started the search for the Basset Hounds.
Scott recently retired from the military and found he had time to not only add a pet companion to his family, but to volunteer at the shelter.
My experience with the Humane Society is kind of twofold, because initially it was just going to look for dogs. And then with the type of people that are working down there, you start to say, well, maybe I can do things while I'm here too.
Sadie and Charlie look alike and live together now, but they came into the Humane Society of El Paso separately. Sadie, known as Jade, was brought in severely malnourished. You could see her skin and bones. She was dropped off by two women who found her roaming near Horizon Boulevard. She had no tags or microchip, and it was obvious she'd been on the streets for a while. Staff at the shelter routinely foster, and the minute I saw her come in, I had to bring her home and give her the TLC she needed to get her back to health and be herself again. I named her Jade. At first she was weak and couldn't walk and slept a lot. After a few days, her energy hyped up and she was starting to gain some weight.
What's nice about the foster program is it allows people to take dogs that need some special treatment, whether it be medication or just adjusting or like Sadie just being brought back to health. And the Humane Society provides everything you need to allow the dog to do that, so then the dog can be adopted right into a loving home. And but I think the biggest challenge with the foster program is the foster failures. It's difficult to take any animal and then say, okay, let somebody else adopt it.
At 2 weeks, Jade was coming around, and being the lovable dopey dog I knew she was. It would be some time before she was ready for adoption, but the perfect person happened to walk in, and I knew it would be a good match, so I offered the option to foster her and take her over where I left off.
Sadie was in a very, very poor physical condition when we first got her. Our primary concern was she was so underweight, and was just getting her healthy, so we really didn't know, quite honestly, what type of dog she was going to be, because she was at that point, I think, just trying to survive. Once she started putting on the weight, then the Sadie personality came out, which was a lapdog kind of attitude, kind of a dog. Super friendly, playful.
Scott mentioned he'd like a friend for Jade just a few months after taking her home.
A pit bull was actually walking down the street with their owners, and Sadie actually went out our front door at the pit bull to play with it. And that's usually not a common thing. And so with the Basset Hound, they like other dogs, they like other animals. It gets along with the cat, they like people. So we knew there was a 99.9% chance that when Charlie was available that they would get along.
So the Humane Society and I kept an eye out for a match.
One Basset leads to another. And that's how we got Charlie.
Charlie was a happy dog, but owners surrendered because his family said they just didn't have time for him anymore.
Unique about the Humane Society, I think, at least this one here in El Paso, is they maintain contact with people who adopt dogs, and even if you're not volunteering a lot, there's that contact. So when a dog comes in, I think they mentally run down a list in their minds, hey, this might be a good fit for family X. So I think it was probably within an hour after Charlie was brought in, I was getting a text from the Humane Society with a picture and said, we got another Basset. What do you think?
So Sadie J was brought in to meet him, and they've been together ever since.
Within the first couple hours, it's kind of like Sadie took on the mom-dog role. And their personalities are completely different. Sadie's very vocal, actually a little more active than Charlie. So what Sadie does, Charlie follows.
The droopy duo is now inseparable and changing minds and stealing hearts together.